Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Power of Love Summit. My name is Melissa Bright, and I am joined here today by my very special guest, Agapi Stassinopoulos. I'm going to first begin by reading a little bit about her, and then we will get started. Agapi Stassinopoulos is a renowned author and speaker who captivates global audiences with her profound wisdom and infectious energy. Trained at London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and holding a master's in psychology, Agape infuses her teachings with rich insights from her diverse background. Agape is currently conducting workshops for Thrive Global, a company founded by her sister Ariana Huffington, to help empower individuals and corporations worldwide to embrace self-care, gratitude, and love for enhanced performance and fulfillment. Agapi is the author of several best-selling books, including Unbinding the Heart, Wake Up to the Joy of You, and Speaking with Spirit. So without further ado, Agape, welcome. How are you today?
Well, Melissa, it is so lovely to see you. I absolutely love your last name, Bright. I mean, my God, isn't love all about being bright?
Exactly.
Exactly, being bright. And I love your background because it reminds me of my home in New York. It's the park in New York, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And it's springtime, so how perfect is that?
Exactly. I tell people I didn't even have to pay for my last name. It was just given to me.
Oh my God. The same thing with me, Agapi, which, as you know, in Greek means unconditional love, was given to me by my mother. And it's a very rare name in Greece. So I embraced it with all my heart because I thought, wow, now I have to live up to it.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Agapi, why don't you first begin by telling me, what is love to you? What does that mean for you?
Well, first of all, let me say how excited I am that there is such a thing as the Power of Love Summit, because we all could use the understanding and the experience of having more loving and understanding how we can capture this love in our everyday lives. And my background, as you know, was in Greece, and I was brought up, Melissa, with so much love. The Greeks are very well known about being exuberant and being effervescent, affectionate, tender. We tell each other that we love each other. We also tell each other that we are mad with each other if we're mad at each other. So we are very real and very authentic. But I was brought up with such a sweetness from my parents and the whole environment around me. I'm not saying necessarily my math teacher, who I didn't particularly like, or my school, but my friends, my relatives, the whole environment is about celebrating love and celebrating life. So that's something, that sort of goes into your DNA. It came with me. So for me, the human warmth is part of the foundation and the fabric of love.
Yeah.
And I love to, when people say to me, oh my God, I really felt so warm and welcomed at your home or when we were together. Because to me, it's like you extend from your heart to the other human beings. And that is what makes life sweet, inviting, and really ultimately fulfilling.
Yeah.
So I always invite people to open up and go to Greece because people feel it there. You feel it from when people are serving you the food and when they always ask you how you are and they really care. And even the language is so sweet. So I had that. I was brought up with that and I brought it with me to England. And, when I came to Los Angeles to do a movie. As you know, I write in my books about that. I had a spiritual awakening by doing a lot of yoga meditation, and reading every spiritual book, because part of me was really longing to connect with deeper parts of myself, to connect with God, with spirit. I was 23 years old. I didn't really know what God was. I didn't believe in God. But thank God he believed in me, because I was led to all sorts of moments and synchronicities and events that really got me to connect more deeply with myself.
Yeah.
So I always say there is a higher love. And you know that song, Higher Love?
Yep.
There is a higher love other than the human love that I expressed to you, that I was brought up with. And that's the love of the spirit, the presence. And in order to capture that, we have to really go deeper. We have to go quieter. It's really a reverence.
Yeah.
It's really coming into the presence. And you know, I wrote this book called Speaking with Spirit. And for me, that's what it's all about. When you start to open up to speak with spirit, is when you start to converse, to open up to hear the spirit. And in order to hear that, Melissa, we have to settle. It can't be when we are doing a to-do list, or we are worrying, or we are anxious. And, you know, there is so much anxiety and worry and mental health issues that are going on now. But that is on one side. On the other side, we have this incredible, what I call it, the canopy of love, the portable paradise, which is really in each one of us. I was meeting with a wonderful woman the other day who is wrote many children's books about connection and love. And she said to me, I've had so much trauma in my life. I had trauma from my parents, from my marriages. And I said, well, how did you get awakened to love? And she said to me something so beautiful. She said, because love is inherited in all of us. So when I think about love, I think of the 36 trillion cells that are creating us right now. So beyond what I call the Melissa-ness or the Agapiness, for anybody who is listening to us right now at the Power of Love Summit, if you put an N-ness on your name, that's your story. That's your beautiful human story.
Yeah.
Underneath that, on top of that, all around that is love. Because we are made out of love. Do I understand it how? No. Do I understand electricity, Melissa? No. But I trust it.
Yeah.
I turn on the switch and the lights come on. And if there is one thing that my mother really gave me, and Ariana, my sister, was that trust that life is for you. So when you trust that life is for you, when things don't happen the way you want them to happen, you're still having the river of trust underneath your current of life. So instead of panicking, shutting off your heart, becoming bitter, discouraged, contracting, and saying, I'm afraid of life. And then you don't trust love. You don't trust life, which is, to me, synonymous of love.
Right.
The life force. So whatever challenges, and believe me, my parents went through tremendous challenges. My father was a concentration camp survivor. For a year and a half, he was a very well-known Greek journalist. We were not Jewish, but he was writing against the Nazis. Now listen, if you survive the camps, my God, you can survive anything.
Right.
And so that faith, that courage was really kind of transmuted to us. And now I want to pass it on to anybody who is going through challenges, any kind of challenges, to say that that is in your human fabric, but in your divine fabric, in your breath, in your life force, there is the courage, there is the resilience, there is the ability to move on and to continue on at all costs. And I have a lot of keys, Melissa, and a lot of tips that I've written in all my books because I've gone through my own challenges, my own disappointments, my own discouragements. And then once I started to overcome everything, I said, oh my God, I must now share everything, everything I've learned. And if there is one thing that I must share is that the human heart must open one more time as we close. We close down because things are upsetting to us, or we get sad, or we get, finding out that things are not going our way, when we get disappointed, and we shut off. We put the barricade, we hostage ourselves. We hold ourselves hostage. But if there's one thing that I can absolutely infuse all of you that are listening, is check in with yourself. If your heart is shut off, you won't be able to experience the abundance, the river of love. I call it the tsunami of love, because you won't let it in. And part of experiencing the love is receiving the love beyond your judgments of yourself, beyond the parts of you that said, I'm inadequate, I'm not good enough, I'm not as good as this person, I haven't achieved as much. This has nothing to do with the essence of you.
This is beautiful. We could have just dropped the mic right there.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So much to say about all that.
I know. And you really did put a beautiful bow on it, and, the essence of love and where some of these blocks come from. Now, Agapi, would you be open to leading us into a meditation for maybe the audience that's listening and they have never settled down and got quiet? Would you be willing to lead us into one?
Let's just do a very short little meditation. I'll play a little music that I love. And the reason I play music, Melissa, is because it quietens the brain, from the constant activities of the emails and the texts and the computers and the to-do list. So we got to remember to bring another neural pathway on the brain. We got to bring in the other river that's going towards the ocean of love and mercy, that's opening up.
Yes.
And trust that. So right now, if you can just lean back for a minute, I'm going to play a little music. And I'm going to listen to it myself because it always helps me. Relax your shoulders and start to attune yourself to your breath. Take a deep breath and exhale. And come present in your heart. And soften your heart. And allow your breath to come in all the way deep into your belly. And as you exhale any tensions, any fears, any contraction in your breath. And make a little sound like ah. When we exhale with a sound, the nervous system says, everything is all right. And as you breathe in this time, ask yourself, Who is breathing me? And receive your breath. Don't take your breath, receive your breath. And let the breath travel all the way up to the spine, up to the top of your head, and imagine a light, a column of light, a white light, a golden light, a purple light, coming all the way down, filling your throat, your third eye, your heart, your solar plexus. Bring it down to your feet and let it circle back and build a web and a vortex of light all around you, all around you. It's an inner and outer light that's expanding. And bring in a depth of calmness. Allow the deeper peace, the deeper calmness to envelop you, embrace you, protect you. And there is a certain bowing down to that higher energy. There is a certain reverence of where we say, thank you, thank you, thank you for my breath, thank you for my life, thank you for all the blessings. I am grateful. And allow your heart right now to open like a rose with hundreds of petals. And with every breath, you open a little more and a little more. Find the still, quiet place inside of you. And in that place, place yourself, your family, your children, your friends, your challenges, your projects, your wishes, your dreams. Place them all like an offering, as if you are saying, my life is given freely to me, and I offer everything in my consciousness to that higher light, to that higher presence of love. Guide me, uplift me, inspire me, connect me. Connect me with a deeper part of myself. And let my life right now become a devoted service to the heart, to the loving of who I am. Show me how to more deeply accept, love myself unconditionally, and accept my humanness as I transform with the presence of the divine. Everything in my life that is restricting me and holding me back from knowing my divinity. Just show me. I am available. I am open to receive. I am open to receive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And take a deep breath and exhale and gently roll your shoulders up and down. Smile inside and smile outside, because when we smile, we give a message to ourselves that all is well. There we are. A little calmer.
That was amazing.
I'm so happy.
Oh,
See, I think if we are together and we are with people that can help us move into the deeper calmness, it's so accessible and it's so easy.
yeah.
You know, we don't really have to read all the books. It's like reading books, you know, on how water is made or oxygen. And instead of reading a book, you just take a glass of water and you drink a sip. And you quench your thirst by actually being in the experience of love,
Yeah.
rather than in the mentalizing or in the worrying or wanting this or wanting that. And in that experience, we build a foundation out of which we can actually start creating the life we want. It's like cleaning up the soil from the weeds and fertilizing it and hydrating, irrigating it and preparing a ground. But you know, Melissa, it takes work. I don't mean work.
Yes.
It takes consciousness. Keep a journal. I always say, keep a journal by your bedside and write down your experiences at night or in the morning, all of it, and love all of it. So if you're sad, you're not going, well, that's not love. It still is love. Everything comes under the canopy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're sad and sometimes we're grieving and sometimes we are anxious or fearful. Whatever we are experiencing, if we judge it, it locks us in.
Right.
So the most effective and the most direct way to finding the love is to go, I forgive myself for judging myself for feeling uptight, for feeling nervous, for feeling irritable, for feeling worried, for making this mistake or making that mistake. I forgive myself for judging myself for choosing to be with people who are not supporting me. And then you give yourself permission to find what really works for you. So consider yourself a piece of art and a masterpiece at the same time. You are a work in progress and a masterpiece. So, we're never done. And but I don't know about you, but I have this perfection thing that I should be perfect. Do you have that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And when I'm not, I judge myself when I'm tired.
Yeah.
Or I judge myself when I'm not feeling good, or, all the feelings of feeling rejected or feeling left out, of feeling that there is a whole other life going on that I'm not part of. And I go, well, I am where I am. And that's the beauty. If I can bring myself, all of me present with me, then everything will be revealed to me about my own personal blueprint.
Yeah.
Because our own soul carries our blueprint.
Yep. So much goodness, Agapi, so much goodness. Now, I want to ask you, you share a lot about the consciousness of abundance and versus the consciousness of scarcity.
Yes.
Can you share with the audience how we can fill our cups and our hearts and move beyond these limiting beliefs?
Yes. It's really amazing how I saw my mother give me the example of generosity. And my mother, on one hand, she would be offering, what can I do for you? And she would always offer, whether it was advice or help for people or be there for them or food. Of course, everything's, was around food. She would always say, "Oh, you're upset, eat something." It was like as if food was the solution to everything with my mother. And so, which is sometimes it is the solution to everything.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, she would always ask for help. I have this great chapter in the Wake Up to the Joy of You, which is called Four Magic Words. Can you help me? So in asking, we are open up to receptivity. Because when you ask, you kind of claim your worthiness that I deserve to ask. So many times we feel stuck, we feel alone, we feel I'm all alone, nobody would understand. And you not asking as a beggar, but asking like, could you help me? And 5 people might say, no, I can't, but maybe the 6th person will. And then you ask for the help because that is opening you up to receptivity. And that is giving a signal to your subconscious that you're worthy to be helped and to be supported. None of us, and I'm sure it includes you, Melissa, could be here. I know I could never be here without the hundreds of people who have supported me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, including my amazing spiritual teacher, John Roger, who I met when I was 23. Mm-hmm. And he opened up such channels of creativity and abundance. When I was an actress and I couldn't get anything, no parts, everybody would say, you're so talented, but we don't have anything that you fit in. So I basically didn't fit in. Mm-hmm. And then I read Dr. Seuss quote, which said, you're not supposed to fit in, you're supposed to stand out. So, there is no one size fits all. Each one of us is unbelievably unique. Isn't that amazing to think that there is no one who looks like you or me or anyone else?
Yep.
I mean, that should just blow your mind away, yep. Unless you're a twin. So that uniqueness needs to be supported. So sometimes people are brought up without that support from their parents or their family. But I say, own it in yourself and ask your God-given spirit to start guiding you who can support you to become more of who you are. And don't stay contracted. And for me, it was like when I was at the pits of my low moments and I wasn't getting any parts and I had gone for an audition and I didn't get a part in a 6-hour adaptation of Greek plays, which was like devastating to me. I went in a New York City bus and I ended up through a series of conversations I had with a woman sitting next to me, performing for her Joan of Arc, the Bernard Shaw monologue. And the whole bus applauded me and woke up and was smiling, and the woman was crying next to me. And that moment, which I write about, opened up the channels. And that scarcity that I was dealing with was like, well, now you have what you have, offer it. And that is the other principle. 6 magic words. What can I do for you? Is it 5 or 6? What can I do for you? It's 6 words. So put them on your mirror in your bathroom wall and just say, what can I do for you? And can you help me? It's both hands.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to feel, oh my God, I have a lot to give. And when you're at your lowest or your most difficult moments, if you just say there's someone else who's going through worse time than me, can I go feed a homeless? Can I share what I have? Is there someone who needs to listen? Is there somebody who is in pain that I can go comfort them, that I can go sing for them, that I can go be a loving presence? Can I go hold a baby? How can you hold a baby and not feel the majesty and the miracle of life? I have a grandnephew, Alexander, who is 19 months old. And I have to tell you, I can be in his presence and nothing else matters because he steals my heart. Yeah. So be around children and be so sweet to children and let their magic activate your magic. That is love.
Mm.
It is always 24/7 available to us.
Yeah.
And to cut ourselves short and say, well, I'm miserable, or I don't have this, or I don't have that, that is a very narcissistic way to live.
Yeah.
And that's when I said in the meditation, life was given to you as a gift. It's time to give back. Whatever you have, give back, give back. Give back with everything. Give back at the supermarket, at the subway, at the bus, in the streets, in the traffic, when you're on a red light. Send waves. We can do so much to affect the vibration around us. When you're listening to the news, which I recommend you don't, because it's like, my God, the news can get you so down. Only listen to them if you're going to say love, light, love, light. Don't absorb it. I'm such an empath. I will turn things off. When are you an empath? And
Oh,
suddenly
yes.
I will go somewhere and I'll go, my God, I came in feeling fantastic. And now I'm leaving this office or this meeting or this listening to this news. And I'm like, boom.
Yep.
And I go, what happened? Because I start to pick up the collective despair.
Yeah.
And there is plenty out there. So be an emissary of love. Make that commitment. Be an emissary of light every day. Strengthen the muscle of light and love. And you do it by loving yourself, my friends. Melissa, we've got to start. Nobody teaches us to unconditionally love ourselves. We are so conditional. I notice myself when I get irritated or annoyed or upset,
Mm-hmm.
I judge myself because, I think I shouldn't feel that way. Come on, we're human. You can feel that way and feel that way too.
Yep.
Don't judge it.
Yep.
And make spirit your partner, because the spirit always loves us and corrects our path and says, well, you went this way, you made a wrong turn. That's okay, beloved. All my prayers in my speaking with spirit start with, dear beloved. Dear beloved. Call yourself beloved. I call myself darling.
Oh, and me, you call me darling too.
Darling Melissa. Be sweet with people. That's my Greek upbringing. Be sweet to people.
Yeah.
You bring the sweetness out. People forget their sweetness and then life is bitter. I have such a commitment to help people not be bitter and dare to share your heart. People would love you for it.
Yeah. I love that you share a lot about, can I help somebody else? Because I found that 2 years ago when I was really struggling with depression, one of the best ways was going to help somebody that was struggling more than me. And
Yes.
this light bulb moment went off of, man, that really got me out of my own head when I could go help somebody, that was homeless, or I could lend somebody some money. And it just,
That's right. Yes.
it helps so much. And it really does make you feel so good to be able to be an answer to somebody else's prayer.
Incredible. Incredible. Or make a meal for someone.
Yes.
Make them a fabulous pasta bolognese or spanakopita, make or pancakes with maple syrup. Make fabulous cookies for people. Share food. I mean, I think that's one of the greatest openers of abundance, to be able to. But I think we all need to be reminded. And we all live in a certain amnesia. We forgot who we are.
Yeah.
And you only have to look at trees. We have a lemon tree in the garden that we planted when my mother died. And it just blows me away how many lemons it produces. So many lemons.
Right.
It's not like I give you 3 lemons. Well, I give you 30 lemons,
Right.
And cherry blossom trees and orange trees and avocado and olive trees. You look at the abundance of the universe, of our little planet Earth, which is so rich.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when you are stuck and you are so wrapped around yourself, zoom out. Remember, you and I talked about that yesterday when we were chatting.
Mhm.
Zoom out. If you Google looking at the Earth from Neptune,
Mhm.
the planet Neptune, the Earth is like a dot, and we are a dot within that dot. So zoom out,
Yeah.
and that's expansion.
Yes.
And let spirit, let God do you.
Mm.
I was listening to a beautiful seminar my spiritual teacher, John Roger, has, and I've been listening to it on repeat. It's called Opening Up and Letting God Do for Us. I tell you, that is a transformation, if any.
Mm.
Because if you say, wake up one morning and just say today and write it down as an intention in your journal, I'm just going to go beyond myself and let God do for me and see what happens.
Mm.
Just wait. Just wait. Just be patient and do your life waiting for the Lord, the presence. That's what we call God, the presence, the intelligence, the higher universe, the higher beingness that
Yeah.
is in us take over. And the ego, you say, I'll be back later. The personality, the story, just like lean back and just say, show me and wait. Because we don't know how to wait. We're not patient. And
Mhm.
people say, oh, I meditate every day, 20 minutes a day, and then 20 minutes, and I meditate. And I said, are you going on automatic? Are you like on automatic, like
Right.
I meditate and then I exercise and then I do this and then I do this? I said, there's nothing automatic about spirit.
Mm.
Spirit is alive in the moment.
Yeah.
And all the spiritual retreats and all the meditations and all the yogas and the asanas we can do, and all the things that we can be disciplined, which is awesome, don't mean a thing unless your heart is open. Because when your heart is open, my dear Melissa, you can take one breath and be awakened into your soul. You can chant one Om or one Hu. I chant the Hu, Hu, which means God in Sanskrit. You can go Hu and feel you have risen into another vibration of consciousness.
Yeah.
Because it's what you put yourself with it. As I said before, the reverence, the kindness, the loving. Don't go on automatic, my friends. Don't keep repeating the same thing because that is sterile.
Yeah.
We need to infuse life into everything we do, and then you're more alive. I mean, you see that in your pets. You have a dog. I mean, is your dog ever an automatic?
No.
So alive, right?
Yeah.
In the moment.
Mm. I love that. I love that you make that point. I've had that experience with my meditation where spirit just completely like took over, and it was the first time I've really experienced anything like that.
Oh,
And then I tried to replicate that a couple times, and then it was like, no,
right,
don't try to do
exactly.
that. It's just going to happen in the moment. Just don't force it. And that's why I feel like meditation and prayers are so powerful. These automatic things that we do daily of check our phone or check social media. It's like, try these, try what Agapi is saying, get quiet, get still, open your heart. You got to try it to see what happens and then be
Yes.
prepared to be amazed at what happens.
Exactly. And listen to fabulous music.
Mm.
I mean, I listen to the song on repeat, Love is in the Air.
Yeah.
Or I just call to say I love you and send it to your friends.
Mm.
instead of text, or call them up when you get a text or blah, blah, blah. I just call people, say, hi. I said, yes, I talk, I'm real. You know, I wanted to hear your voice.
Mm.
And that's where the living, when we say what is love, love is loving, is a verb. Loving, there is an action.
Yes.
And in the action is, what can I do right now for me? And ask yourself, yesterday you and I did this beautiful exercise, where
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, take your phone when you're feeling disconnected, take your phone, open it on your camera, open it on selfie, and look at yourself and say, hello, hello, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Is there anything I can do for you today? Amazing. People get very self-conscious. Oh, well, I can't just love myself like that. Yes, you can. Become your best friend. Embrace. I mean, I suffered so much from feeling lonely. And I realized that was the longing of, the connection with the higher spirit, because we all kind of fall on this earth and we don't feel at home. I mean, who feels at home here? I don't know. Maybe a few people do feel at home, but you always have this sense. I mean, where is my connection?
Yeah.
Because we are big souls, invisible, living in a very physical form related physical reality, which is dense, gravity,
Right.
and we are condensed. So to get back to the spirit, give yourself a break, cut yourself some slack and say, I'm just going to get to know this being in here. I'm going to really love this being in here. Because at the end of your life, and I saw both my parents take their last breath, you just take you with you.
Yeah.
And return you to your maker.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be wonderful if in this short little life that we have, that is so finite and is like a blink in eternity, we made it so precious and so loving and so embracing to ourselves, so that we feel what I say, God is my partner. And again, God is whatever you call the I am, the source, the universe, the cells, whatever name becomes you.
Yeah.
And don't separate because he's God or that religion. It has nothing to do with that. The human spirit is the human spirit.
Yes.
And it's so sad in a way how we've lost track of that. And we're so divided.
Yeah.
So don't buy into the division. Buy into the oneness. Buy into the humanness of the spirit that is beyond the form. So go beyond the form to the formless. And when you look at people, project that spirit into them and they'll start awakening. That's what's so incredible.
Yeah.
Because, in a way, we are transparent. We don't begin and end in our skin.
Right.
We extend in energy. And then you start to be in a meeting and you hear someone say something and you say, well, they want to say something else. You start to really hear the subtext. Your intuition is now working.
Yeah.
And you're operating on another dimension. And that's because you're allowing God to do you.
Mm.
You're allowing God to do you.
That is beautiful. I know you've given so many different examples, but I really, really wanted to ask this question to you. What are some possibilities that can start to unfold when we finally fully embrace love?
Well, let's say if you just begin to embrace love, because to fully embrace love maybe might be a longer journey.
Okay. So we'll get to just
Just like
get
opening up
ready.
a few
Yeah.
petals of your heart, you know.
Yeah.
And then once you start to feel full, you start to feel directed. I want to do that. Or you start to feel it's not dependent on pleasing people or fixing people. And it's not dependent on you fixing you. But there is I call it my heart unbound. That was my book when I had my spiritual opening of my heart, unbinding the heart. And it's like you start to live in grace. So whatever you touch, you know, you have an easier, more flowing, more grace-filled way, and you are experiencing yourself more of a innocence, of a childlike quality. Because our egos, you know, and God bless the egos. I don't want to give the ego a bad rap, because we need egos to function in the world. But the egos can start to overtake the heart and go, I know, I know, I know. But when you are living in the loving, you can be very comfortable with not knowing, you know, because we really don't know what tomorrow will bring.
Right.
There is a vulnerability and a fragility to our lives, and you become comfortable with that because you are sustained by this higher energy of loving. And so I think we can then create a community, we can create a foundation of our own love, of our own connections, of our dreams, of our gifts, because each one of us has so many amazing gifts that have been stowed. For me, once I started to open up my heart, I said, I'm going to tell my story. And now I'm going to get up on the stage and speak and share my heart. And now I'm going to hug everybody. And now I'm going to connect as people come to me. I can offer my wisdom. And once I opened up to saying, who I am is enough. That is it. That's what I came here to do, to share this love, to share this agapiness, to share it unconditionally, and to be authentic and love agape to the best of my ability, allow other people to give to me because that's part of the flow, and ask for what I want and become an artist of my own life. So once we open up to love, we can start healing parts of ourselves that I felt unloved, parts of ourselves that I felt diminished, negated, betrayed, forgotten. Because we are a kaleidoscope, you know, we have so many parts. And then we bring them to the table. And then let the love starting to heal that, the forgiveness, the judgments. And then it's kind of miraculous because you're kind of giving yourself permission to fully breathe and to fully exhale and to fully take your next breath. You know, part of why we get so stressed is because we breathe 30% to capacity.
Yep.
And I want to tell you one of my favorite stories, which is a monk who was in a retreat, and he kept saying, "Dear God, how can I serve you? What can I do more to show you that I love you? Can I feed more homeless? Can I plant more trees? Can I help the sick? Can I build another monastery for people to come? What can I do to serve you? Because you've given me so much." And he heard his inner voice say, "Shut up and let me love you."
Oh,
You love it?
yes. I love it. I love it. Oh, okay.
Because it's like, why don't we love ourselves? Why don't we let God love us a little bit? So when we said be quiet and settle, is because you're letting the love in. There's a poem that I would love everybody to download by George Herbert. It's called Love. I just read you the first stanza. Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing me, grew slack. From my first entrance in, drew nearer to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest, I answered, worthy to be here. Love said, "You shall be he." I, the unkind, ungrateful, "Oh, my dear, I cannot look on thee." Love took my hand and smiling did reply, "Who made the eyes but I?" "Truth, Lord, but I have marred them. Let my shame go where it doth deserve. And know you not," says Love, "who bore the blame?" "My dear, then I will serve." "You must sit down," says Love, "and taste my meat." So I did sit and eat and feast. Love by George Herbert. Take a copy and frame it. And remember, love is beckoning us, all of us. Make a commitment to loving right now. This moment is a brand new reality that you are made out of love, that you are truly loved, even if you don't believe it. Acting as if, trust it, claim it, open up your heart every day a little more. I will be your friend to show you that it is so real. Let's together join our hands, join our hearts, and march on to the field of love and possibilities and be the healers of each other.
That is so, so beautiful. And this conversation has just been such an important reminder to love ourselves, to love other people, and to just open our hearts more. So I can't thank you enough for this wonderful conversation and for reminding people of exactly what they are, the essence of them. Um, can you share people where people can find out more about you and all of your work and your wonderful books?
Absolutely. If you go into my website, wakeuptothejoyofyou.com,
Okay.
you will see a lot of my books. My recent book is Speaking with Spirit. There are 52 prayers to guide you, uplift you, and inspire you. My book before that is 52 Meditations for a Calmer and Happier Life. Wake Up to the Joy of You. Unbinding the Heart is my life story, how I got to awaken myself. And I would love to share my email. And if you need more information about my spiritual group, my spiritual teacher, it's a center in Los Angeles. It's Heaven. There's a labyrinth and meditation gardens. The meditation gardens and labyrinth on East LA. And you can find me at Agapi at unbindingtheheart.com. And I'm sure we will put it down on our visual here, Agapi at unbindingtheheart.com. And I'll send you some of my meditations. You can download them on Audible. It's my voice, it's my heart, it's my love. And just stay in touch. We're all connected. And much love. And thank you, my dear Melissa, for your kindness and your tenderness and listening. And you are such a wonderful, bright woman and human being. And I'm just feel so blessed that we have come to share this conversation. And thank you to the Power of Love Summit for bringing this to. We need it so much now. We need it. We need the light to shine and the loving to be unbirthed.
Yes, we do. And thank you so much for your kind words. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, my darling. See you soon. Bye, everybody. Stay in touch.